This is the left hand of Chopin. Uh, Actually, the original is with the Queen of Italy. And I was given this through my friend, Mr. Geller, who was visiting her. So this is a plaster cast of that hand. And you can see that it's not a large hand, but everyone who heard Chopin said it was amazing how it sort of spread like a serpent, and he also slept, by the way, apparently with wine corks in between his fingers to keep them separated. Now this is a very rare piece of Chopin memorabilia. It is his left hand again, but it was done just shortly before he died, and you can see how the thinness of his fingers, how the illness he had, he was wasting away, and you can see that there. This is black resin, and interestingly enough, this is only one of two that exists in the world. The other one is in Paris, in the Place Vendôme, in Chaumet, which is the jeweler which has the building in which Chopin died, and they have the other one. They gave me this one, so that's quite incredible. This little locket has a very interesting history. George Sand, who was Chopin's lover for some 8 years, had this locket and it is her hair and Chopin's hair are combined in this little locket. And despite the difficult parting they had, she obviously kept it, gave it to her granddaughter, Aurora Sand, who when she died, the caretaker of Nohant, which was a summer house in which Sand lived, and Chopin spent many summers, 8 summers to be exact. This is, and Roger Garat, who was the caretaker, just gave this to me one day. And really, this is for me, most extraordinary thing. She was angry, but she wasn't that mad, and she kept these hairs. Beautiful. When Chopin left George Sand at Nohant, her house, they had an argument about her daughter, and Chopin was against a marriage that she was going to make, and Sand was for the marriage. So Sand said to him, "You know, you have no right mixing into my family affairs." And Chopin was very, very hurt by that, and he decided he was going to leave, and he never came back. Meantime, he obviously forgot a coat, which was left in the wardrobe. Not the wardrobe, it was left in the, downstairs there, like a closet downstairs, and Sand did not get rid of it. She kept it. And again, this came to me from Roger Garat, and I'm very thrilled to have this coat. It's interesting, if you look here closely, you see those marks, and that was exactly where the knee would fit under the piano. So Chopin obviously played the piano in this coat. Wish they made them like this today. He was about 5 feet 7 inches, and he had large bones, but rather small stature. Everybody who met him said he was slight. Well, an awful lot came out of that slight. This is a death mask of Chopin. In those days, it was in vogue to make death masks, and used wax on the face and then plaster on top of that. It's interesting because Chopin, the original death mask, is not this, because his sister, Chopin's sister, came from Poland, looked at that mask, and it was really pretty hard. It showed him the disease. It just disfigured his face and so forth. So she said, "I will not let you use that as a death mask." So it was not used, and he worked on it, and this is what came out as the official death mask. This was actually, again, this was in George Sand's room at Nohant, and Roger took it out and gave it to me. And needless to say, how thrilled I was with the things that he did give me. He always told me he felt there was something to do with me and Chopin. He couldn't understand, but he felt it. So I guess that's why I got these wonderful gifts. This is a photograph of Aurore Lofsand, who was the granddaughter of George Sand, and she was brought up by Sand until she was 11 when George Sand died. And I met her at Nohant by accident one day. I had no idea that she was still there. And she asked me to play for her, which I did. I never forget that day. And she corresponded with me afterwards, and it was really quite wonderful. And the Flaubert, who was at the funeral of George Sand, picked up little Lolo, which was her nickname, and said, "Thank God the eyes of Sand are preserved in little Lolo." This is a photograph of Nohant. This house, this actually was Chopin's room. And this is where some of the greatest music he's written came out of his summers, 4 or 5 month summers at Nohant. This letter, sorry, this letter is a letter from little Solange, her daughter, to her brother Maurice. She was about, I think, 11 when she wrote this. And she says in this, "Good day, my pretty one." That's to her brother. "How are you? Chip Chip." That's a nickname that was given to Chopin. Chip Chip found a cute little dog that he is petting for the first time in his life. Its name is Mops. I am making you a pretty purse, which I will send you. Kiss my father for me. Tell him I will write him next time. For I don't have the time because we are going to dine at Madame Marliani's. Madame Marliani was a good friend of George Sand. Adieu, my pretty cursed gendarme. I say adieu to you, Solange. So it's kind of an interesting letter because we know that he was called Chip Chip, but here's proof of it. And this was given to me by my wife.